The film opens in Mumbai, India on November 26, 2008. A group of 12 youths arrive in a small dinghy. Each has a huge backpack and a cell phone with headphones. A leader of the group, known as the Brother Bull, gives instructions to the men. They split into pairs and board taxis that point them to different destinations, including Victoria Terminus, Leopold Cafe, and the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel. In a nearby village, Arjun kisses his pregnant wife and little daughter goodbye and leaves to work for the Taj. In his haste, he forgot one of his shoes. At Taj, our staff prepares rooms and welcomes guests from all over the world. Among them are Iranian-British heiress Zara, her American husband David, young son Cameron, and nanny Sally. Will be in the kitchen. The chef's Hemant Oberoi inspects the waiters. He notices Arjun in sandals and tries to send him home, but after being persuaded, he sends him upstairs to get extra shoes from the office. Breaking news of the attack on Victoria Terminus flashes on the TV monitor. His two terrorists, who just shot Victoria Station, hijack a police car and continue killing each other. Zara and David have dinner at the hotel restaurant and Sally stays upstairs to wait for the doctor as Cameron is a little hot. Oberoi tells the staff to treat the couple like royalty, as does another guest. Vasily, a Russian businessman, asks for a special cognac, so Sanjay, one of his waiters, goes to buy it. As he was walking to the store, he nearly hit a taxi carrying two terrorists. When the two men get out of the car, he gets into an argument with the driver. At the Leopold Cafe, tourist Eddie and his girlfriend Bree watch the exchange for light entertainment. They decided to go to the Taj next, so started paying for the food. Suddenly, a waiter is shot and a grenade is thrown into the cafe. Two men enter and start shooting people ruthlessly. Eddie and Bree escape and run through the streets with a crowd of people. News of the attack gradually reached the hotel. The staff are worried but try to keep their composure in front of guests. The group runs to the Taj and seeks refuge. People rush in when the hotel manager Dilip opens the door. Among them he includes 4 terrorists. They quickly draw their weapons and begin slaughtering everyone in sight. Bree and Eddie are separated during a scuffle, and Bree is apparently killed while trying to run for the exit. Arjun watches the carnage from the restaurant and orders the diners to hide under the tables and orders the staff to turn off the lights and lock the doors. David tries to call her Sally, but she's in the shower and can't hear her phone ringing. Her 2 receptionists, who are hiding under the desk, manage to call the police and warn several guests to stay in their rooms. As the main lobby falls silent, the Bull brothers order Imran and Rashid to begin phase 2. Go upstairs and execute everyone in front of you. Sally finally answered the phone just as there was a knock on the door. David warns the hotel that there are gunmen when a bloodied woman runs into the room, followed by gunshots. Sally grabs Cameron and she hides in the bathroom cabinet while the woman hides in the bathroom. 2 men enter the suite and kill the woman. Sally desperately tries to soothe Cameron, who is starting to get upset. They manage to remain unnoticed and the 2 men leave. Sally rushes to take a shower and she and the baby cry together. She calls Zara. David decides to sneak upstairs to get to them. He hid in an elevator behind a room service cart and briefly chatted with 2 terrorists before successfully entering the room. Eddie jumps from an upstairs window and injures himself. He goes crazy, so he asks someone to save Bree, who is still inside. Outside the hotel, attacks continue at alarming speed across the city. Local police are ill-trained and ill-equipped to deal with an attack of this magnitude. The only option is to wait for special forces from New Delhi, about 800 miles away. Arjun's wife is horrified by the news. Despite being severely understaffed and unprepared, the police chief and some officers decide to enter the hotel, hoping to reach the surveillance room so that the terrorist movements can be tracked. Since diners cannot get through the emergency exit, Oberoi decides to take the diners trapped in the restaurant to Chambers Lounge. He gave the kitchen staff the option to quit now. Taj is their home. Arjun successfully guides guests through the lounge and through the service corridor. Zara texts David to where they are going, where she asks to meet her. The police station is entered through the main lobby. One of his terrorists threw a grenade, killing 3 police officers and deafening another of his. The 2 escape into the stairwell. David, Sally, and Cameron leave the room and try to slowly make their way to the lounge. Below, the terrorist finds 2 receptionists and orders them to call the people trapped in the room. If they refuse, they will be shot. In the lounge, a woman overheard Zara on the phone to her mother in Arabic, accusing her of being one of the terrorists. Vasily tells her to fuck. The same woman later complained about Arjun's turban and beard. Arjun calmly explains to her that his turban is a symbol of his courage, but he happily takes it off, which annoys her. Woman apologizes. A stewardess enters the lounge with several guests. Among them is Bree, who is seriously injured. She realizes she needs immediate medical attention, and Arjun offers to take her out her back stairs. He uses Pagari to stop the bleeding. They met 2 police officers in the stairwell and were confused. Bree goes through the door and is killed by Imran. Brother Bull ordered him to gather hostages, especially those who seemed important. David and Sally make it to the 6th floor only to be confronted by Imran. David manages to force Sally and Cameron into the utility room before being taken hostage. Without her inner grip and her phone dead, she is trapped. Arjun leads the police to a CCTV room and sees many employees dead, including Sanjay, while Abdullah attempts to gain access to the lounge using one of the dead policeman's badges. Just as Oberoi is about to open the door, Arjuna calls out and warns him. Abdullah hears noises inside and starts firing at the door. Guests and employees are ushered into the back room. The police order Arjun to stay in place and engage the terrorists, successfully injuring Imran before being kicked out. Upstairs with David and the hostages, Imran calls his father and tearfully tells him that she loves him. 6 hours later, despite Oberoi's warnings, Zara decides to leave the lounge with Vasily and the other guests. Upon entering the lobby, guests are killed while Vasily and Zara are taken hostage. Indian Special Forces arrive this morning. Abdullah searches Vasily's pockets and discovers that he is a former Russian Spetsnaz agent. 2 terrorists are caught hijacking a police car. One is killed and the other is taken into custody. Brother Bull orders the group to begin the final stage: burn down the hotel. They take hostages and leave Imran. David manages to loosen his wrist and attempt to attack, but is shot in the shoulder. Arjun decides to leave CCTV in order to make the lounge more accessible to more guests. One of the guests hears Cameron crying and pulls Sally out of the closet. Oberoi announces that he will pass through the back door as soon as possible. A phone call with a reporter reveals where the guests are hiding, and this information is broadcast on television. Brother Bull warns the terrorists that the guests are fleeing. Imran is ordered to execute the hostages as none of them are important enough. He shoots an American couple, David and Vasily, who are trying to fight back. Zara Salah begins to be chanted as tears flow. She fails to shoot another Muslim woman and Imran spares her. The terrorists broke down the lounge door, ran down the stairwell, and shot dead several guests and staff. Arriving at the kitchen, the special forces finally enter the hotel and return fire. As her nightmare seems to be over, Arjun goes outside and she cries and hugs Oberoi. Upstairs, Zara finds the closet where Sally was hiding. She managed to break the window and scream for her help. The surviving terrorists are eventually hunted down and killed. Zara takes refuge and is reunited with Sally and Cameron. Arjun returns home and reunites with his own family. The final text reveals that after 3 days, Indian police killed 11 of the 12 terrorists and arrested one. The mastermind behind the plan is still on the run today. Of his 31 people who died at the Taj Hotel, half were staff who were left to help guests. On December 21, 2008, the Taj was reopened and restored to its former glory with the help of Helm and Oberoi. To this day, some Taj employees are survivors of the attack.